Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with your Hollywoke hot take. I tried to not to make this one too political because yesterday's we were finally starting to get away from the politics, but fell right back into it today. Sorry. CNN's Lemon. If you voted for Trump, you're on the such and such side, the bad guy side. Let me see if I can describe these bad guys. One group of bad guys, they're all in white. I think you know who they are. They got like big sheets. They make their costumes out of sheets, I guess. And the other ones are the bad guys from Germany. Those guys. That's who you are if you voted for Trump, according to Don Lemon. And as Trump said, and I totally agree with this opinion, I think Lemon is probably the stupidest man on TV. I mean, dumb. Dumb just doesn't even begin to describe it, I think. I think it's really evident that CNN is dying and no one cares at this point. They're just saying stuff and running out the clock until they get bought and everybody gets fired, because that's the first thing you'd do, right? If you bought CNN, you'd have to fire everybody. Oh my God, you'd certainly have to fire Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo. They're in my view, they're two polarizing figures. They are the symbol of CNN's failure at this point. You know, Don Lemon was on for many years as sort of the backup guy, and he finally made his way to the top just in time to watch the whole thing implode. And he has, you know, instead of going out with a lot of class and dignity so he could maybe get a job at another network, because, you know, news anchors, they can work a long time. I think he is just radioactive poison at this point in terms of newscast. Who would want him? Not me. I wouldn't want him the face of my network. No way. Same thing with Chris Cuomo. He is, I think Chris Cuomo's stupid too. I mean, he's just a dumb guy, like, and an angry dumb guy too. Although I think Don Lemon is the stupidest of the two. Yeah, he's dumber. You know, at least Cuomo's sort of not. You know, Cuomo's problems all seem to stem from confrontation about him, whereas Lemon's actually gone out of his way to say stupid things that are just off the charts. Like the time he asked, and this was like a serious question, if that missing Malaysian plane could have been sucked in by a black hole. And he just didn't ask it, but he doubled down on the question after like getting sort of like, no, that's not really possible. Yeah, no, but what if it was really small? And they had to explain to him on air that even a very small black hole would destroy all of the Earth. But I mean, that is really dumb not to know that, in my view. This is his name's Dellingpool. No, this isn't Dellingpool. This is Russell T. Davies. But according to Dellingpool, I don't know why they showed him and not Dellingpool. Dellingpool, only gay actors should play gay characters, says Doctor Who showrunner. I don't know why they showed him. I thought he was the showrunner at first. You wouldn't cast someone able-bodied and put them in a wheelchair. You wouldn't black someone up. Authenticity is leading us to joyous places. Yeah, if you think segregation's joyous. Again, not this guy. Although, man, he looks very unhappy. I'm going to just get off his picture because it's kind of disturbing. Yeah, I mean, these are the showrunner that destroyed Doctor Who. This is what he believes, apparently. It's dumb. It's very, very dumb. You know, the whole point of acting is you play a different person. Actors, they try to, all their pictures, they try to be young because you always look older, and they try to be very sort of generic in a lot of ways. You know, they have a look. You know, you can be a character actor. Like character actors, they have a look. Like, right, if you're Gabby Hayes, the old prospector, you know, your roles are going to be limited, but you always get them because we want the old prospector. But if you're, a handsome guy, a leading man type, and a big name, you want to look as young as possible, as in shape as possible. You want to look good, but at the same time, you want a hairstyle that's fairly short, generic, So the idea is they can see you in any role, as many roles as possible, and you can always look older, but you can't. It's hard to look younger, right? So you want to have a good range, and that's it. It's about look, because it's all an illusion. I was just talking to someone today. They were talking about James Gandolfini and how he felt like when he heard Gandolfini talk in his normal voice without a Jersey accent, it was weird to him because he was so used to Gandolfini going, "Hey, how you doing? Forget about it." And that's what a good actor does. He really sells it to the point at which you think that's his real voice. And a lot of actors are like that. We have a lot of English actors who do American voices, like Tom Holland, right? I believe he's English, right? And he's doing Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and oh, Mr. Stark, and but here he's English and he's got an English accent. I think he's English, right? Margot Robbie, she's Australian. She's got an Aussie accent. So hot. Everything she does is just so amazingly hot. But these woke people want segregation. Oh, it's a gay character. We got to get a gay actor. Oh, it's a disabled character. We got to get a disabled actor. What next? I mean, you got to get a guy with two hearts to play Doctor Who. Are you going to get actual aliens next? Oh no, that's ridiculous, Tony. Okay. Well, what about playing a race car driver? Shouldn't you get a real race car driver? Knows what he's talking about. Shouldn't you get a real convict if you're shooting a prison movie? Well, that's not the same as race. Okay, so it's all race, huh? All right. You do that and see where it gets you. See where it gets you. See where it gets you hiring somebody based on race. That gets you to a very dark place. It gets you to a place where eventually, and I said this a long time ago, if you keep making moves based on race, eventually it comes to bite you in the ass, because eventually, there are times when let's call them urban movies are hot, and everybody wants to make an urban movie with a black cast that takes place in Harlem or whatever. But then you make a whole bunch of them, and then people are like, okay, I'm done with that. What do you got next? Ooh, guess what happens then? And it's a double standard too, because especially at the BBC, they just did a whole thing on Queen Anne where they were touting, a woman of color is playing Queen Anne. Oh, what happened to all the authenticity you were so interested in? It's so hypocritical and it's so pointless. You hire the best actor or actress, period. That's it. That's it. And you get great performances for somebody playing other people. And that's what actors do. It's just what actors do. You might say, oh, well, how could you cast someone who's disabled, when they're able-bodied? Well, it's very simple. If you were going to cast a movie for Stephen Hawking, and there was a Stephen Hawking movie, Stephen Hawking could walk early in his life. Later, the disease he had, I forget what it was, ravaged his body, and slowly got worse and worse and worse. So you need an able-bodied actor to play that role if he's going to play it all the way through his life. Oh no, you got to get an actor who's partially paralyzed, and then you got to get a totally paralyzed one. They all have to look like Stephen Hawking. F you. You don't know what you're talking about. That's not what acting's about. It's about playing other people. You take this to the logical extreme, you can't do narratives anymore. It's just more postmodernist deconstruction BS. Stop it. Just stop it. And speaking of irrelevance, Lady Gaga, Jennifer Lopez, to perform at Biden's inauguration. Well, if there couldn't be a sign that you are so establishment and so not cool anymore, it's playing at the inauguration, especially that of Biden. But go ahead. I mean, I'm not going to watch this thing unless I can't live stream it. They'll shut it down off of YouTube. Maybe if BitChute has their live stream up no, I guess they won't. It's the 20th. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I mean, I don't see how I can, quite frankly. I can't have the sound. I can't have the visuals. You can't make fun of the president, everyone. Humor is dead in America. I'll probably do a video on it about how cringy and stupid it was. We'll go over some stills. Maybe we'll do it like a screenwriter's rant trailer. 7 prominent Twitter accounts still active after promoting violence and disinformation. Well, there's a shock. Let's go through them. The China's Communist Party propaganda chiefs. Yeah, sure. They're still on there. They're still on Twitter. Here's one. They get to promote Chinese propaganda from communists. Oh, but don't say anything about the Capitol Hill riots, everyone. Don't say the hashtag that will never be mentioned. Oh, that would be bad. Ayatollah Khamenei and Iran's many media arms. Yeah, there's a bunch of great guys, huh? Yep, you can still tweet away. Here's Khamenei here. The West Bank must be armed just as Gaza, he says. Yeah, well, I might even be flagged on YouTube for repeating what he said. I didn't say it. He said it. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, my God. I'm not going to read it. Kremlin leaders, Russian bots. So, there you go. Yeah, the Russians, they get to say stuff. The Russians that stole the election in 2016, according to the Democrats. Colin Kaepernick, of course, he is a saint who walks among us. How's the NFL doing, by the way? Yeah, not so good. Yeah, people not really interested in the NFL anymore. Wonder why. Mr. Rest in Power George Floyd. Yeah, well, I didn't watch football to begin with, but I can't imagine being a football fan and having to tolerate this guy. But there you go. Nation of Islam, radical Louis Farrakhan apparently still has his Twitter account. Antifa, of course, they still have their Twitter account. And here's Andy No pointing out Twitter still allows these Portland Antifa groups to organize, promote, and or incite violence on the platform. And these guys aren't kidding around. They're actually doing it. Like, most of the people who tweet that kind of stuff, if they're just randos in the United States, they're just, saying a bunch of rando stuff. But because it's right-wing rando stuff, oh, that gets prosecuted. You're off of Twitter like that. But left-wing violence, oh, that's fine. Knock yourself out. That's what happens. They let this fester and fester. And now they're at the point where they actually organize this stuff on Twitter. Why not? And these left-wing radicals are such fools. Twitter's going to cut them off when the government tells them. And Biden's going to tell them at some point. When they come back to let's protest Biden. Then you'll see that boot you've been licking. Then that boot you've been licking smashes you in the face for 100 years, you dummies. Who else? It's more Antifa stuff. Far left agitator Linda Sarsour. Yeah, she said some stuff. Oh, and here's ice cream agitator Ben and Jerry's. Who we talked about yesterday. Yeah, I don't want to repeat. I don't want to repeat any of the more stuff. I should have read any of the Iranian stuff. So these guys are still on the platform. When's Twitter going to remove them? Never would be my response until the government of the United States under Biden says, "Ooh, that's bad. That's bad. Won't you remove that, Jack?" And then suddenly they'll be, person non grata. I think the Antifa guys are the next to go. Out of all that list, I think Antifa is the next to go. Maybe the Chinese. Maybe the Chinese only because, Biden will, look like a tough guy on China, and that'd be an easy way to look like a tough guy. But, Donald Trump, the current president of the United States, not on Twitter. Can't talk to anybody. He's a danger. Communist Party? Ayatollah? No, they're fine. Those wacky guys. Let them talk. And finally, Red Sox legend Kurt Schilling says his insurance policy has been canceled by AIG after he tweeted in support of the Capitol rioters. Whether you agree with this or not, this is insanely dangerous. Okay? This means you could lose your insurance. You could lose your damn insurance. Because your political views, this is fascism. That's exactly what fascism is. That's exactly what the bad guys in Germany did to people. If you didn't step in lockstep with their political beliefs, you didn't get, your business was closed. You didn't get access to certain things. It's what they're doing in China right now. A bunch of fascists in China. So this stuff is chilling. Poor Kurt Schilling. Very chilling. I mean, can you imagine? This could happen to you. They could go through and just decide, we're not going to insure you anymore. We don't like your political beliefs. Sorry. That's not the United States, man. No. That's China. That is fascism. And that's what you have to look forward to under Biden, unfortunately. But we can start to mitigate this stuff. And the way we do is we put pressure on these guys through nonviolence, and especially through emailing, calling, writing letters, and nonviolent resistance. But stay home this week. Let the inauguration happen. Do not go to any of these stupid protests they've been promoting, because it's got to be a trap. If it's not a trap, so what? You can always protest later. Let Biden be inaugurated. We all know the deal with Biden. I'm not going to say it because YouTube will flag me, but we all know the deal. So let them have their moment in the sun. Don't watch. Don't give them any ratings. And we'll all make fun of them the next day. Hopefully, we won't have a bunch of Democrats screaming about how they're going to make even more draconian laws.